to the Marketing Drip, where we drip tips to scale your business digitally. Abby here, and the topic today is branding your business. We're going to be breaking down how to create your essence through your logo and how branding is really similar to picking a wedding dress, why it's important to have a consistent brand, and really the impact design has on digital ads, social media, and email marketing. I'm going to be talking with Steffenee, the manager of creative at Digital Resource. And Steffenee started as our resident web chick. And y'all, she does not shy away from taking risks and staying edgy, as long as she can back it up with results. Blending art and science, Steffenee has built a team of creatives that makes data-driven decisions. And now she oversees a multitude of services, including graphic design, web design, social media, multimedia, and email marketing. Let's begin today's drip provided by Digital Resource, a full-service digital marketing agency that is your resource for everything digital. Well, hello there, Steffenee. Thank you for joining us today and dripping some knowledge on us. Yay! So excited to have you here. I'm really excited to have you here because a lot of people don't realize is there's this creative element that goes to all projects with marketing, right? Usually there's the strategy and there's the results afterwards, but a lot of the strategy is actually part of the creative. So really break down for us, Steffenee, what services fall under creative?
Yeah, so I think the really cool thing about creative is it touches all of the departments and many, many of our services, but specifically the services that live with creative team would be logos and branding materials. We do some print work as collateral, but we also do email marketing, multimedia services, which is video and photography, excuse me. So those are kind of like our specific services.
Makes sense.
And web design.
You guys get to do the fun stuff, right? Like
yeah.
It's definitely the visuals, the things that come to life, the colors,
For sure.
the flow, everything, all those elements, like you said, with website and how they talk together. And that's so crucial. So why is it important to have a consistent brand across all marketing channels?
First of all, consistency. One of the most important things about branding, right, is recognition from your users and your clients. So I would say the really important part is just keeping everything consistent because it's a lot more powerful and you'll get a lot more brand recognition from your users.
Yeah, makes sense. Like you can't have one style on like a t-shirt and then you have a flyer that looks different and then you have an ad that looks different because they're going to think there's so many different, that could be another company, even though they have a similar name, you know?
Even worse would be, your website looks one way and then your social media looks totally different. You're going to confuse people when they go from social media to website. They're going to be like, who is this? Is this the same person?
Yeah, exactly.
And
Right. And that's the whole point of marketing on different fields and different avenues is making sure that when you see it one place and you see it again, that is brand recognition. It's seeing it repetitively. So then when you identify with it, and then when that opportunity comes, whether you're a dentist or a lawyer or financial advisor, whatever that may be, if they continue to see your name and then they think of that, now they're like, oh, I need to go, I know Digital Resource and they're a marketing company because I see them everywhere.
And kind of building on that is where, when brands do, evolutions or, they redo their logos, some of those go very badly because if they don't stay true to the essence of the brand, then they'll lose a lot of that. So it's really a crucial time when they're doing updates to brands.
That's such a good point. You want to, it's kind of like you're reminiscing, right? Like, oh, this is our throwback, but we're evolving. And that's always cool to see a brand like evolve over the years and make changes, but not too drastic and celebrate that, like be excited about that. But kind of off of that too, not just logos and repetition and consistency, but why is it so important for design when it comes to digital ads? People think a lot of times like it's more about being in front of as many people and putting as much money down. But why is the design so important?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that up because one of the departments that we really work with a lot is the ads team. So even though they're not directly creative services, we work a lot with landing pages and display ads and things like that. And that's really crucial because there's a science behind that. All of the designers on the creative team really study courses on, the best way to build landing pages for conversions and really put a lot of thought into the structure and layout of their assets to really better help the ads team's strategy. And then
Mhm.
together they make magic with ROI. But yeah, so I would
That
say it's definitely like a science when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, science and psychology, like, I think people
Hmm.
forget that, they're like, "Oh, I have a brother that does some
Yeah,
design and knows how to do
for sure.
Adobe or Canva, so I'm just gonna mock it up," and it's like, no, there's a reason why this is a full-time job
Yeah.
for people, like,
Oh
it
yeah,
needs to be
yeah.
effective,
I
it's not.
mean, and it comes down to the layout of the elements on the page or the color contrast between your buttons and your brand color. Like there's so many elements that the designers are trained upon to bring
Oh,
results.
and then your brand, like, that has to
Yeah.
be different for your brand. And photography, like, do you recommend having photography in that as well? Is it
Oh
usually
yeah,
graphic?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, especially for companies that really pride themselves on the people of the company. And
Mhm.
so, for instance, service-based companies really care about showing this is the person that you're actually working with. We're not just a robot on the phone, or we're not just a product. So, being able to have custom photography that really shows the people that you're working with or your clients are working with really goes a long way.
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. That's so true as far as, like, service-based. People are the service. Softwares,
For sure.
it's more about the actual technology, so that's why it's gonna look different.
Yeah.
So why do you think that digital resource, their ads convert at a higher rate than average? Is it the design part of it?
I would say. Maybe both. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that, like I said earlier, it's this magic connection between ads team and creative team that really makes stuff like this happen because they have wonderful strategies, and we really, because we're so well trained, we're able to pull, 10% conversion rates on our landing pages, which just to let you know, the national average is considered 2.5%. So we are
Wow.
killing it. Yeah. And it's
That's
all based on collaboration and education.
Wow. Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
team, like you said, it's having two teams. It's not one
Yeah.
person. It's not just the idea that's coming up. There's so many elements that go down to an ad, especially ad dollars. Like there's so much that can go into it money
Yeah.
wise, but it's worth making sure it's intentional and that is
Sure.
being put in and
Yeah.
that it's done right. It's not just something
Yeah.
you want to wing.
Yeah, because when you think about it, okay, if we had a beautiful landing page, it would be useless without the ad team's strategy. And if the
Yeah.
ads team had a wonderful strategy, but a very poor designed landing page, then both of those wouldn't happen. So those numbers really come from the true collaboration of the teams within digital resource.
Yeah. Is there one that stands out to you when you think of an ad that you're really proud of and you're like, "Wow, that was really
Um,
cool." I'm sure there's so many, but is there any that
I think I really like our personal ads, the ones that we use for digital resource.
yeah.
One, because our market, like our targeting market is like really nailed down to the people we really want to work with, but also they're just fun. Working with digital resource brand is really fun.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure, and
Mhm.
I see it everywhere. Like, I went to the
Yeah.
website one time, and now it's like,
Oh yeah. We're here. We're
Jonathan's
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
perfect. What do you think there's a lot of clients that we're talking to or a lot of businesses that we talk to obviously and it's hard to really understand how to start a brand, how
Yeah.
to create one, where to go, what to know, what to do. It's very overwhelming. They have so many
For
moving
sure.
elements that are happening. So, what do you suggest that they should consider when looking into building a brand for the first time?
Yeah. That's a great question. I really think that the number one thing that clients need to keep in mind when building a brand, or people just in general, is the commitment level. Committing to a brand
Ooh.
is really important. Yeah, and not just like committing to the final product, but like committing to the journey because brand development is very difficult. It takes a lot from the client side and the creative side to really come together to like formulate what it looks like.
Yeah.
So committing to that process, and what that looks like, and then also after the fact really committing to the consistency and using that, and not just like, yeah, it was nice, but I kind of want to do this for this flyer, like really marrying into that idea of the brand.
Oh, that's so true because I feel like a lot of times in the beginning, everybody, again, they have so many moving parts that they tend to rush
Yep,
something that's going to stay with them for the longevity of their business,
yep,
ideally, right? Like it might evolve, like we
yeah,
talked about, but there, that heart and soul is really there. And
yep,
you need to appreciate it. You need to put value and time into it.
yep,
And I think it also comes down to the trust of a team. You know, like you
for
want to make
sure.
sure it's an enjoyable experience, that you trust the
Hmm.
people that are handling it, but
Yeah.
you want to communicate that. You want to be sure that you're being, since it is your brand, it is the face of your company. Other than that,
Hmm.
some people are obviously also the face, but they are, the
Yes.
brand is the face. You need to
I,
be open and honest about,
yeah,
yeah.
I would say it's almost the essence, right? It's the essence of the
Ooh,
company. It's bigger than just an appearance thing. It's the essence.
it's the
And so
essence.
yeah, really committing to that is number one for sure. And I love
I
what you were talking about. It's a partnership for sure. It's not just
yeah.
a designer goes in a corner and creates something great. It's between the client and the designer, the
Yeah,
team.
because you can't feel defeated. It's not gonna,
Hmm.
there's no way. I mean, some ways, it's not gonna
Yeah,
happen the first time. It's just not.
yeah.
And because
Mm-mm.
your vision, it's, it's like finding the perfect outfit, or like your wedding dress for chicks, right?
I
Like,
love that you said that. I love that you said
yeah,
that. I use that term all the time.
stop.
Like I always
It's true.
say that you have to say yes to the dress. It's the same concept with branding. I say it all the time.
Oh, I love that. It's true. You
Yeah,
have to. Like you can't just try it on and say you might, and you might go back and figure out that you do like
sure.
it. But it's, you need to look at different elements and realize, like, I like this, I don't like this, I like the
Hmm.
curve of this, I like the colors of this one, I like the font of
Yeah,
this. Like, being very direct and just trusting that person that's designing it and telling them exactly what you like and don't like. It's not,
for
I
sure.
feel like sometimes it can happen where they see it and they're like, oh, they're disappointed, and it's like, no, this
Yeah,
is a growing thing, this is something I need to learn from you. You need to
yep,
communicate with me and figure it out. Don't be defeated, because the end result will be so worth it. And
yeah,
to your point, you're going to use it on all these different types
yep,
of projects. Love it,
yeah.
be proud of it. So
Yeah, and
instead
it's
of,
actually even bigger than that because even the name that you choose
mm,
and the slogan that you use in your logo, all of those need to be so specific to who you are and um, memorable, to who you want to be a part of your brand. So
yeah.
there's a lot of layers to it, which is why I always say that branding is it's always step number one, but it's always the hardest step as well.
And then once you get past it, you're
Oh,
good.
everything's great.
Yeah, then that's just our, then it's
Then it's
ours.
good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's all. Well, that being said too, as far as like standing out and making sure, it obviously it's very competitive online, especially social media.
For
Everybody
sure.
has an account, if not multiple
Yeah.
accounts. And
Yeah.
so how would you say that people, businesses can stand out on social media?
Ah, I love this question.
Yay.
Meaningful content. I am a
Mm.
really big believer in producing the quality content that matches who you are as a brand, but also who you want your ideal customer and audience to be. And never ever post something if it's not of value in some way. So don't just post for the sake of posting. Actually think about the content that you're putting out there.
I love that. Intentional.
Yeah.
You have to be, because,
Yeah.
and I love that you say the end user. That can definitely
Hmm.
get, it's, I, a lot of times it can get focused on who you are and your
Yeah.
vision and what you want to encompass. But if you can convey what your end user wants to see, wants to hear, wants to know more about, like
Hmm.
FAQs, if you want to make sure that they're asking the same questions every day, and be their resource, like be the person
Yeah,
that's
for
answering the
sure.
questions, but make it
Yeah.
stand out. Don't just say it in the post, like make it stand out that you are being that person that they, or that
Yeah.
business that they want to go to for that
Yeah.
information. But
Yeah,
yes.
a lot of services like social media, I really like to think about it as a relationship between the company and the end user. So
Oh,
really when you go out to dinner with your end user, what would you talk about? And like really thinking about it in that frame of mind and not just it looks really great and it represents us in a feed, it should be like, what is the conversation we're having?
That is the best advice I've ever heard. That's so true. Go on a
Yeah,
date and
yeah,
with your social media account and
yeah.
like
Well, and
do
email marketing is
oh
like that as well.
yeah, that's so
Yeah,
true. Well, okay, so we're talking about if you've mentioned email marketing, let's dive into that. How
yeah.
can email marketing transform results of a business? Like people think that email marketing is dead, and I know you and I are very passionate about this, but
No,
it's not dead. It's great.
yeah,
It's thriving.
it's very
But
alive.
what kind of results have you seen that can transform the business as far as email marketing?
Yeah, so I guess there's like, it depends which direction we want to go, right? So I really
Yeah.
think about email marketing in a couple different forms. And the main two that I'll bring up is like for e-com clients specifically, and then for non-e-com clients, because those relationships are going to be a little bit different. But similar to what we were talking about in social media is it's really about like harnessing and continuing the relationship with the people who are interacting with your brand. And that in itself is super powerful. So even though for e-com specifically, even if they're not going to buy your product every day and every minute, you still want to hold some kind of relationship with them and become top of mind when they are ready to purchase again. So
Yes.
in those senses, it makes it super powerful.
And that you're right. Social media and email marketing go hand in hand. You are giving them the same
Hmm.
information, and it goes back to give them what they want. Give them what they want to
Yeah,
hear, what they want to know about.
yeah,
I always
yeah,
I always love, I swear I drop his name all the time, Donald Miller, Story Brand, and just like the idea of you're not the hero as the business, your end user is the hero. Therefore, you
yeah,
need to make sure that you are catering those topics and that information to
yeah,
them to benefit them. It's
hmm,
it's crucial. Like I don't think of
yeah,
how do I make myself look better? How do I make them trust me and make
yeah.
them understand that they have the control? They
Right.
have that power.
And
They just have
there's
to make the decision and feel good about
right,
that
and there's a
decision.
couple things there,
And
right? So
that comes down to email and
for
social.
I always reference this too is like one, the user will tell you what they want if you pay attention to their behaviors. So don't just send stuff out there and then just like whatever we did a thing. Like actually pay attention
Yes.
to the numbers that you're seeing, like your click-through rates and things like that. Those are really going to tell you a lot. And then also maneuvering your content to match that behavior would be really good. Using segmentation is really powerful.
Mm.
Um, but along those same lines, for a startup, for instance, their instinct is going to be, I just want to send emails and I just want everyone to open them. Um, but really nailing down who you want to be your long-term end user is important so that you can cater your content to talk to the people you really want to talk to. Because everybody isn't going to be your market.
Yours. Listen to your users and pick the
Hmm.
people you want to work with to grow and be
Yes.
happy with who you're working with.
Yes.
Don't cater to
Absolutely.
everyone. You can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But know your strength and get better and communicate. Oh, that is.
Yes.
And would you say when it comes to email marketing, is there certain stages of a company or a business that they should? So there's the startups and then there's the
Yeah.
established. Like, is there certain stages that should implement email marketing, or do you think it
Um,
is for everybody?
I think it's definitely for everybody. And I don't think that there's like some beautiful, perfect time when everyone's ready. I would even say for startups, you can start building a list even before you're live and
Yes.
launched. So really it comes down to when you have a decent list of people who are really committed to hearing more about you is when you can start.
100% agree. Just have to start,
Yeah.
get with the list first, understand what they want to hear, and tell them. And it's that easy.
Yeah. And at Digital Resource, we'll also do list building for like using Facebook. So
Oh, wow.
let's say a client, it really is interested in email marketing, but not quite there yet with their list. We can temporarily run some Facebook ads to drive some interest and build up that list, and then we can implement it into email marketing.
And everything talks to each other. That's
Yeah,
the element. It's like depending on what you need to have, you can you have to grow as a company first. You have to, but there's so many different tactics depending on your goals,
sure.
depending on where you're at in a company. And if it comes down to needing a list, we'll get you the list. Like it
We'll
because
get
that
you a list.
also it also comes down to marketing. That you can't get a
Yeah,
list without marketing and establishing those
yeah.
relationships first and having that
Well,
shot.
Well, you can, but you don't want that list.
You don't want that. Do not pay for
You
that
don't want
list
that list.
and
Do
have
not
a
pay
bunch
for a
of
list.
deads. Please make it
Don't
natural,
do it.
especially
Yeah.
online now. It's so authentic. Like
Yeah.
on everybody's so smart when it comes to that. Don't just buy a list and have just like bad data. Like that you don't want those
Yeah.
relationships. They don't want you.
Yeah.
You don't want them. You're starting off on a bad foot. Just take care
And
of
you don't
people
want to
that
get
want it.
blacklisted. You
There's
don't
that
want that to be
too.
your first email experience is getting blacklisted. It's not worth it. Just take the extra time to build up a list of people who really want to be there.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Steffenee, this has been amazing. Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
having
much
me.
for talking with me today. And thanks everybody else for tuning in. If you want to learn more about standing out against competition with a beautiful brand, have Steffenee and our team take care of you. Just go to yourdigitalresource.com. I'll see you guys soon.
See ya.